Hola, this is Melody from the Tune Bucket, and today we're going to talk about how to run an effective band rehearsal. First of all, we need to talk about the purpose of a band rehearsal. And a band rehearsal is a great time to get all of your musicians and your band together to rehearse songs that they've already listened to and practiced on their own time. The reasoning for this is because if we're getting all of our different instruments and our musicians together to actually learn a song like it should be learned, that's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to be frustrating for your piano player if you take 30 minutes out to work with your bass player and they're doing nothing and they feel like they might be essentially wasting their time. So once again, let me reiterate that the purpose of a band rehearsal should be to review songs and play them together as a band, to tighten and tone them up, rather than to listen to a song for the first time or practice it for the first time. Okay, so I have 5 points today. Number 1, start and end your rehearsals on time. Now what this means, if we're gonna have a band rehearsal at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, that means that your musicians need to show up at about 6:45, 6:50, set up their instruments, get their chord charts out, get their earbuds out, find all of their stuff, and make sure that they're ready to start at 7. And the reason that it's important to start on time is that everyone has their own schedules, people are busy, and most of the time the musicians that we are using are volunteer. We're not paying them to come to practice or to be a part of our music team. And while they may enjoy it, they will feel more respected and they won't feel taken advantage of if their time is used as they've dedicated it to be. So if your practice is set to start at a certain time, start at that moment, even if you're the only person there. I've had to do that before. Start on time, and if you have 5 songs to review, when you finish that first song and your guitar player comes in late, we've already practiced that song. Ending on time is important too. You don't want to drag a rehearsal out 4, 5, 6 hours to be a marathon rehearsal, because that gets very tiring and it might cause your musicians to not want to come to another rehearsal. Number 2, be prepared. This one is very important. Make sure that you've given your musicians plenty of time to learn the songs. Now, I would consider plenty of time about 2 weeks. A week maybe on an easy song, but you have to remember they have work and responsibilities other than just playing on your music team, and they're gonna have to actually schedule a certain practice time. And some weeks, I know for each individual, it may not be possible for them to practice that week depending on what they have going on. So try to give them at least 2 weeks, and that way they can sit down for like 30 minutes or 45 minutes and review a song and be ready for band rehearsal. Also, part of being prepared would be to make sure they have a copy of the audio to listen to so they can become familiar with the song. That's a really great way to get a song in a musician's head, is to make sure that they're listening to it. Also, make sure before your rehearsal starts that you have any drum loops, any type of communication that needs to go on should happen before the rehearsal starts. For example, if we're doing a song that's entirely acoustic guitar, I want to make sure my acoustic guitar player knows, hey, this song is all about you, so make sure that you do know it and that you're really familiar with it. Number 3 just kind of reiterates the whole purpose of a band rehearsal. Make sure that you are communicating clearly with your band, that they do need to set aside time to practice on their own. This is very important. And if you haven't done this before, it may take a couple times of reminding your musicians that they need to practice on their own before they actually start doing it. But back that up in your rehearsals, and if they don't practice, say, well, you know, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next song, but make sure you practice this on your own time and learn these parts so that we'll be able to play this in church and so that you'll be able to play with us. If a song isn't coming together after about 30 minutes, I would recommend moving on to a different song. Now, here's one side note tidbit. This is kind of a bonus that I didn't put on the list, but I never say to a band, choir, any kind of soloist, I never say these words. Now, this is a difficult song, but why? Because it automatically puts a negative vibe about the song in people's minds, and they automatically think, oh, this song is difficult. If they're never told it's difficult, they will be better at learning the song. More than likely, they will master the song and be able to sing it or play it with no problem if that's never said. So I would recommend never ever saying this is a difficult song. Having said that, sometimes even in the simplest of songs, there can be kind of a mental block, whether it's because of fatigue or confusion, or maybe your team member is carrying an emotional weight, a load that's kind of got their mind in a different place, and they're having a hard time focusing on that song. If we keep pressing and trying to master the song and it's just not working, it can once again cause maybe negative feelings or cause people to get frustrated with the song, and then they may have a thing where, well, we don't like this song because we could never get it, and it really probably stemmed from something else. So if they're not getting it within 30 minutes, just move on to the next song. Don't even say anything. Say, okay, let's practice the next song. Just try not to say things that are negative, I guess, is what I'm really trying to say. So if a song gets too overwhelming, take a break from it. You can either come back to it in that rehearsal or move it to the next rehearsal. Give your band a break, time to kind of back off of it and come back to it. And more than likely, when they come back to that song, it's going to sound great. Number 5, if you've ran rehearsals differently in the past, know this, that sometimes habits are formed and habits take time to change, especially for your whole team when they may not see the vision or they may not understand the purpose of the new practice schedule. Just make sure that you are clearly communicating this in a very kind way to your band, and maybe remind them every week or however often that you can, let's remember to take these songs and practice them on our own time, because when we get together, we want our practice to go as smoothly as possible, and I don't want to take any more of your time than we need to. Be patient. Sometimes as a leader, you can get the point before the rest of the team gets the point because it's your vision, but remember that it takes time for them to transition, and they may have other things like family, work, issues that are at the top of their mind, the forefront of their mind most of the time. So just keep gently reminding them, and then you'll see a great change in your band rehearsals. I hope this helps, guys. Stay tuned. And if you have any questions that you would like to submit to Tuning Tuesday, feel free to send us an email to info@thetunebucket.com. Bye, guys. Speak positive. Positivity. Number 4, if a song isn't coming together, if is not a word. Once again, let me reiterate. That's more than 2 syllables. Okay. Smile, you're on camera. One more time.